there's more. You have more in you. Give it to me. And I'm going to use that same thing for Shericka. There is more. Give it to me. I want it. You're still holding back. Hey, Chackies. Welcome back to yet another video here on TXT Check Time. You don't know the thing, go smash that like button, destroy it. Nobody me have to ask if you do it time and time again, even though I will. And of course, if you have not, please remember to also subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Now, track is you're done to the title, right? So you know it's about one of our phenomenal three, our beast, Shericka Jacko Jackson. She came out and she dismantled the 100 and she never stopped there. So she decides to listen, I'm going to take the 200 meters down. And of course, she's now the fastest woman ever, the world record holder for the 200 meters. Listen, and y'all, you Americans listening to this, y'all are probably cussing right now. I'm sorry. I had to say it. Okay, so Shericka Jackson, of course, came out and, did very well this season, phenomenal this season. So we want to look at, or we want to tell you what we thought of this season for her 100 meters and what we think this, performance or how it will propel her into 2023, another amazing year. We have the World Championships coming up again. So what's going to happen next season for Shericka? Tam, take it away.
I mean, what's going to happen? I just want to, right ahead, I want to go ahead and answer that question and say more of the same and even better. And there are a number of reasons why.
Okay.
Speaking about, I just want to dial things back to last year when, after the Olympics, when Shericka did those rounds of interviews. She was on Profile, she was on Yendi Phillips' show as well. Mm-hmm. And there are a number of things that I remember her saying. I mean, we might have even spoken about these before. But, she said she wasn't as disciplined. There was a problem with, eating when she shouldn't be eating, coming back to camp, gaining weight and all of that. Right. And in an earlier video, we have said that Shericka has turned into a lean, mean winning machine. And she still is. So what I expect to see from Shericka this year,
this will be 2023
for 2023 for the upcoming World Championships. I know I'd seen a video on social media recently, so I think that their break is over and they're back in their camp.
Yeah, they're back in training.
They're back in training now, and I just know that she has her eyes set on lowering her time in the 100 meters. We saw her run 10.7 3 times this season. And I mean, last year, if we take
I think it was 4 times.
Right, 4 times, right? 4 times this season. 2 10.73s, a 10.77, and a 10.71. Now, if we take it back to last year, she was already producing 10.7s for the Olympics. So when we compare where she was in her fitness at the Olympics to where she was at the World Championships, it's a much, much more focused and athletic and just toned.
But she's definitely stronger. She's definitely you could see it in her performances or her results. She was definitely a fitter athlete this season. She could handle the speed that she was dishing out. Last season, I didn't get the vibe that she could handle it after the Olympics. She pretty much, for lack of a better term, popped down. And she couldn't really handle it. But we saw that, listen, she knew that she had to go to the gym and get stronger. And she did just that, because when it came to this 2023 season, she raced so much. Forget even the indoors and the 200s, just over the 100 meters. She's raced so much times, and we saw her body able to really hold up with that. And I love that.
And even though I haven't been on social media, so I haven't gotten to see any recent pictures of her, I can only assume that she did not go off eating any honey bun or anything like that, and that she managed to maintain some discipline there. But speaking of those 10.7, so in Monaco, we saw her run 10.7.1, and that was her the closest she got to, breaking that 10.7 barrier. Right. Now, I think that, especially with all those 60 meters that she ran this year, I'm not certain what her coach has in store for her this year. This is not a 60 meter, next year is not a 60 meter year. So I'm not expecting to see
As
her,
in the championship year, you mean?
championship year, right? So
Right.
I'm not expecting to see her race across that distance a lot next year. And even if she does, it is just, of course, to get to work on, the start, the beginning of her race, as we saw her do this year. So for what I'm expecting to see is, I don't know, at least by championships, if not before, she's going to break that 10-7 barrier. I think it's on her mind. I think she knows that she can do it. She has come close, and that's what's next up for her. I expect, in her mind, I think she's thinking about the double. Yes, the double. The 200-meter double. So of course she knows that, and on the 200-meter side that we'll discuss in another video, that the path to that is much clearer. Save a healthy Elaine Thompson here and whatnot, and whoever else is there now, that path is clear. But on the 100-meter side of things, she has to get by Shelley and Fraser Price. I'm saying this to say that when she's in training, she's going to be putting in the extra work. She raced against Shelley and Fraser Price quite a bit this season. So she knows what Shelley and what Shelley is capable of. She has been at the back end of Shelley and's burning quite a bit. So going into training, she knows what she will need to do to be number one, because that is the idea. Everyone wants to be number one at
Yeah,
what they
everybody wants
do.
to be number one. I think in 2021, she was fine with just, being a part of the crowd. Wow, I can't believe I'm here. But in 2022, I really saw, that push to be number one, to be the best. I saw it at trials over the 100 meters and obviously the 200 meters. Saw it go at World Championships. She was hungry for that number one spot. I no longer want to be a part of the crowd. I want to be the person's name that's going to be called first, kind of thing. So I definitely got that from her.
Right. So
Um,
come 2023, that's what she'll be working on. But I mean, 10-7-1 is still a far cry from 10-6. And if her and if Shelley and Fraser Price and Elaine Thompson here, if they maintain the shape that they're in, or if Elaine gets back in shape, it will be a lot will be required of her to get down into
Well,
that
separate apart from
bracket.
what anybody else is doing, because at the end of the day, you can't control what Shelly is going to do or Elaine is going to do. They're going to run their race. Shericka can only control what she will be able to bring to the table. So for sure, I'm thinking that she's definitely going to be looking on, getting fat. By getting fat, and by faster, I mean her turnover. There's something I noticed with Shericka when I look at her, how she races versus how a Shelly races versus how an Elaine races. And there's something that it really stuck out to me. I don't know if you noticed it or any of our trackies noticed it, but I don't think her turnover is as fast as say a Shelly or an Elaine. No, that's very weird to say, considering that she's going so fast. This is still 10.71, but for some strange reason she just looks like she's going slow. So for me, in the back of my mind, and I'll take it back to something Coach Francis said about Elaine years ago. He said, there's more. You have more in you. Give it to me. And I'm going to use that same thing for Shericka. There is more. Give it to me. I want it. You're still holding back. I want those legs to just start looking like I can't even see them to how fast they're going, kind of thing. That's what I want to see
Right. I think a
from
lot of that too
Shericka.
had to do with all those years she spent training for the
The 400,
400,
maybe.
where you would not turn over so readily. So she has to keep reminding herself like quicker turnovers. I'm sure in
Yeah.
practice they're working on it. So it's just for her to like execute, because again, yes, I agree with you. I believe there is more there. And once she steps up the turnover, I also noticed it, because I mean, come on, again, this is not an Elaine video, but when Elaine is turning over, or
When
even
she's in full floor, even not even Elaine. But we can't compare to Elaine because Elaine, they have
right,
similar techniques. But even if you
the
look at the
fleet
Shelly,
of
the
those
turnover is
feet,
ridiculous.
right? So right, so if we see that from Shericka, yes, that 10-6 is within
That's what I'm looking for.
like
I'm looking
grabbing distance.
for that ridiculous I don't know the correct term, right? Because obviously with Chakis we're not coaches here, right? We enjoy track and field, and that's how we break it down. But like, I'm just looking to see her improve in that aspect, and I believe that once she improves that aspect of her racing, then for sure, you know what, we've been calling the 10-6. The 10-6 was there this season. I don't care if it's 10-7-1 right now. As far as I'm concerned, she successfully attained, quote unquote, her goals this season. But how do we take it a step further? How do we outdo a Shelly? Or how do we outdo times that Elaine has done? How do we now become the best in the 100 meters? And that's what we need to start looking at, becoming the best.
And I think she's on the right path. Couple whatever Stephen Francis, the magic he works over there at
Remember, her
MVP.
coach is not Stephen Francis.
Okay.
It's Paul.
Couple whatever magic is being worked over at Stephen Francis's
No, the
own
club is led
MVP
by
club.
no, the club is led by Paul.
He's the manager. Stephen
He's head
Francis owns
coach.
the club.
Paul is the head coach. What do you mean?
Like, who owns that club? Stephen Francis owns the club. I say no more. So whatever is being done over there at the MVP club,
Okay.
whatever is happening over there,
Hmm.
along with her determination, and we have seen that determination this year.
I'm just glad. Can you imagine if she had this determination when she was doing the 400, when Stephen Francis said that she could have run 47 all those years ago? Like, I wonder if she thinks about it now and she's like, because she always says that she hasn't dropped the 400, and know that because it takes a defining moment, I believe, to show you this is what you're capable of, for you to
400
realize.
is gone. I believe.
No, hold up. I believe that there's a defining moment, and it happened with her last season where she was like, "Oh, I could actually do this," kind of thing. And nobody cannot tell me that in the back of the coach's mind, her mind, she's like, "So what could I actually do over the 400? What would have been possible if I was actually doing it this kind of way, kind of thing?" So I don't think it's dead. I definitely don't think the 400 is dead, and I actually want to see
Walking away with those three silver
something.
medals. How many medals did she get? What are three silver?
Three, one gold and two
Silvers
silver.
and the gold, right? The gold in the
Yeah.
200, right? So walking away with one gold and two silver medals after this recently concluded World Championships. I remember her in her interviews after the Olympics last year saying that the 400 is still there in the bag, but
No,
I'm
she's
pretty
been seeing it
sure,
this year as
yeah,
well.
I'm pretty sure it's dead. It's dead. It's full steam
Look
ahead.
here, if
1-2.
athletes can, I maybe not in a championship, but I wouldn't mind seeing a one-off 400-meter race on the Diamond League. Serious competitive racing. I'm not just talking about just turning up and running because, right? I mean a serious competitive run in the 400 meters against Shawnee Miller, against I've been dying to see her beat Shawnee over that 400. Can I tell you? Um, as Sydney is now dropping down. We see Athing Moo has changed her coaches to go over with Sydney, right? And I'm assuming that she'll be taking up that 400 as well. So we're gonna see crazy things next year. So I just want Shericka, to be a part of that
Right.
a
So
little bit.
track is we really just had to get this video out here and bring it to you because of the big three in Jamaica right now, we're looking to see the biggest improvement, if that's the right word, because she's already phenomenal, but we're looking to see the biggest improvement as it relates to times coming from Shericka
Yeah, for sure. I definitely think those legs can
Jackson.
turn over faster. It's in her, right? And once they start turning over faster, then it's gonna be ridiculous. Because think about it. To me, if it looks like she's going slow now, and again, that's relative because look at the times that she's produced. So imagine if that starts to look. All right, give you an example. Usain Bolt, just think about how his turnover, how ridiculous it is, right? Not only was he tall, but it was his ridiculous turnover. So I can't wait to see it from Shericka Chakis. I'm hoping we're spot on yet again. I don't know, we're queens in this thing. You can take everything we say and cash
To
it,
the bank.
right? You can take it to the bank, you can cash it, no bounce checks around here. Anyway, Jackie, as usual, sound off in the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. What do you think we can expect from Shericka and the 100 meters next
This
season
year.
for 2023?
Is she going to be the world champion in the 100 meters?
Don't know. And as usual, I'm C.
And Tam will catch you in another one.